Miss Angie Tan is a US certified and AVS accredited dog trainer. She also holds a diploma in vet clinical science and is an associate trainer at Ngee Polytechnic, where she conducts regular seminars on canine behavior. She founded Puppy Love, Singapore's first dog-friendly training school in 2001. Angie firmly believes that fear and intimidation have no place in dog training. As a dog bite safety educator, a professional member of the Association of Professional Dog Trainers, and a canine first responder, Angie supports the use of LIMA, least intrusive, minimally aversive methods when working with animals. Angie is the trainer for CET course titled Basic Behavioral Management in Dogs, Fear and Anxiety, offered by Ngee Polytechnic. I'll now pass the screen time to Angie.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me and for having this lovely introduction. Now, let's see. I'm just going to share my screen first, yeah? There we go. Okay. And yeah. All right. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And welcome everyone for joining me this Saturday. It's a nice, very nice weather, not so rainy as past week has been. Now, when you got here and you are attending this, it means at home you have a four-legged terrorist or a land shark, right? So otherwise you won't be here joining me. Now, today what I'll do is I'll go through some of the common challenges that pet parents face with their puppies. Now, there are always a few problems and challenges that come up very regularly that we see. So I'll pick the top 3 because otherwise we'll be here the whole day. Okay. Now, let's see. What we're going to do today is I will go through briefly the stages of development for a puppy so that you understand where the puppy is at, what to expect, and whether this stage that you're in is going to last forever, okay? I can assure you it is not, although it sounds very painful right now. It feels very painful. You have this puppy that's out of control, peeing everywhere, chewing everything, destroying your shoes, and you might be regretting your decision getting a puppy, but don't worry, there is hope, okay? Now, let's see what we're going to do. You guys can see everything? You can see the screen?
Yes, can see.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, so the neonatal stage. So some of the stages of development is I'll just go through it very briefly from the puppy stage. So the neonatal stage from 0 to 2 weeks, the puppies are born blind and deaf, and they're completely dependent on the mother. They really look like little hamsters, okay, just naked and just very dependent on the mom. The transitional stage is 2 to 4 weeks. Now that's when they start to open their eyes and they start to hear a bit more and see a bit of things and movement and shadows. They can't really see far yet. It's just like newborn babies, when you have to be very close, within 1 arm's length, then they can see you. So that's about that stage. Now, most people, you probably won't see this stage for your puppies, because by the time usually when you get your puppies, they're usually about like 3 weeks, not 3 weeks, about 3 months, so about 16 weeks or so. Now, 3 to 16 weeks, this is what we call the critical period of socialization. And this is when puppies start to, their eyes and ears are fully functioning now, and they are exploring the world with a vengeance, okay? At this stage, they are very receptive to new experiences and people. They are practically fearless at this stage. A lot of them, a lot of owners, when we get puppies about this age, okay, 16 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks, we see, oh, this puppy is very sociable and it's not fearful and is exploring the world, as it should be, because Mother Nature has created it so that puppies at this stage, they're not afraid. They will go and 50 plus 10%. Yes. So, but people mistakenly believe that what they see at this stage, at 16 weeks, the puppy will be like this forever. That is not the case. Because once they hit about 16 to 20 weeks, something happens, okay? So again, Mother Nature has stepped in and said that, okay, by about this time, about 16 to 20 weeks, the window of socialization will have this animal, right, who is fearless and start running into things. And at this stage, they start to be a bit more wary because then it becomes a survival instinct. And usually at about this stage is when owners start to notice a change in their formerly outgoing puppy, all right, to becoming a little bit more fearful, a little bit more wary. Now, it is for this reason that we highly encourage people to take their puppies for puppy classes to socialize them as soon as you get them. Okay, because in a Singapore context, we usually get our puppies from the pet shop. They're about like 3 weeks old, so that's about 12 weeks. So between 12 to 16 weeks, this period is super important. This limited window, you can do so much in this window that will help prevent a lot of issues that will come up down the line. A lot of fearfulness, a lot of barking at strange things. And we see, I mean, if I could ask you for a virtual show of hands, right? I would say, how many of you have dogs who suddenly start barking at the delivery man or start barking at workers, right? Yeah, yes, see. So I got a few responses. Oh, yes, fantastic. Yeah, and it is very, very common. All these could have been prevented. Okay, so I would highly recommend you tell your friends or people who have got new puppies to please socialize their puppies as soon as they get them. Now, then the next question will be, oh, but they're not fully vaccinated. How? It's okay. You can safely socialize them because it's for me personally, it's balancing the scales. Okay, there is a high risk, not a high risk, there is a low risk of the puppy catching something, all right, but there is a very high risk of behavioral issues if you don't socialize the pup. Okay, now what are some of the things that you can do to safely socialize the puppy? You can carry it out. You don't have to bring it to the dog park. You don't have to put it down onto the floor. Just carrying the puppy out, taking a walk in the park so that it can see the trees, feel the wind, see the sun, all right? All of that is very important because we assume that, oh, they will know what the sun is, they will know what the leaf is. You'll be surprised how many what we call mountain tortoise, very swaku, mountain tortoise puppies that I've seen because from birth, they have been kept indoors and they have never stepped out until they're about 5 to 6 months old. And as you can imagine, it is quite a shock to the puppies because they've never heard traffic, they've never heard the wind, they've not seen people of different colors, different races, kids running around on scooters. So by the time you keep them and complete their vaccination, there's about 5 to 6 months, and then you suddenly bring them out. It is a huge shock for the system. And also developmentally, they are at that stage where they're primed to be a bit more wary of things. If you're able to socialize them within the 3 to 16, below 20 weeks, right? You get to prevent a lot of issues. Then they are more receptive when they see them again as they get older, okay? So this is a golden window, and I feel that it is not being talked about enough. So, okay. So for many of you, this stage is over, but it's okay. Then you say, oh no, all hope is gone, right? It's not. Okay, it's not. But just for your information, for next time, if you decide to get a new puppy or friends who are getting new puppies, encourage them to take the dogs out. Go for puppy classes. Okay. All right, now, after this very happy stage, when we've gotten through the puppy training, or so we think, right? The next stage comes, oh my goodness, where is it? The next stage comes is what we call the adolescent stage, all right? Now, there's a reason why I have this big alarm there and it's all in red, because this stage, about 5 to 6 months to about a year and a half, depending on the breed, this is most owners give up their dogs. Okay, or when they feel the most frustrated with the puppies. Again, I'm pretty sure many of you have dogs around this age, which is why you are here with me today. Now, about Well, juvenile stage and adolescent stage, they're like human teenagers, right? They're pushing boundaries. They are trying to see, hey, they're be growing bigger, stronger. They're not as dependent on the litter anymore or dependent on the mom anymore. So they want to, just like human kids, like human teenagers, they want to go and try new things, explore the world. The world is their oyster. And it's also at this stage where they kind of seem to have developed selective hearing. And because they are primed to explore new things at this stage. Yep. And what owners also get very surprised by is also suddenly how come their formerly docile puppy become out of control and their energy levels peak. So what used to be sufficient, like maybe a walk around the void deck twice a day is enough, suddenly at this stage, it is not enough. Okay. And it's because they need to explore, they need to run, they need to play, and they need to meet other dogs as well. They need to meet younger dogs, they need to meet older dogs, they need to meet adult dogs, okay, well-adjusted adult dogs who are able to teach them puppy manners. Okay, there are some things which only another dog can teach another dog. All right, try as we might, we are not able to do it. It's also at about 6 to 12 months, that's when the testosterone and all the hormones just really go through the roof. And so as you can imagine, with human teenagers as well, you're fighting the hormones, okay? It is very difficult. Their impulsivity, self-control is out the window, okay? It's do first, think later, all right? It's the same for dogs. But the good thing for dogs is it's a lot shorter than human teenagers. So hang in there, okay? Hang in there. Once you hit about a year for like small breeds to about a year and a half, or maybe even 2 years for the bigger breeds, you will find that, hey, things will start to settle down. They are not as crazy as before, okay? They're more mellow. And so I just need you to hang on for that, okay? They literally at this stage, the reason they're more impulsive is because their prefrontal cortex is not as well developed. So we just have to work with that. The dog is not being stubborn, okay? The dog is not doing this out to spite you, but they literally cannot control themselves, right? So what we need to do is kind of assume that, okay, you don't know this, I'll teach you all over again, okay? Right? So, let's see. And then when we hit 1 to 2 years, that's when they get the young adult stage, full physical maturity, okay? And they often have a more stable temperament as well. Although for the bigger dogs, they might still exhibit like some puppy-like behaviors. So if you have a bigger dog, like say a retriever, golden retriever, a lab, they tend to remain puppies till about 2 years old, and sometimes even 3. So just keep that in mind. So the breeds, the smaller the breed, the earlier they mature. The bigger breeds take a longer time to mature, okay? So adulthood, 2 to 7 years old, they are considered adults during this stage. Energy levels stabilize. And something happens at this stage too. Now, remember when I said when they were teenagers, they need to go out more, they need to play more, they make friends easily, right? When they become full adults, you will find they become more selective with meeting other dogs. They previously, maybe a social butterfly puppy, every dog is a friend. Suddenly, it's like, oh no, they're more selective. I don't really want to play anymore. I just want to lie around and sleep. Or they are less patient with other dogs. And that is normal. That is also very normal. It's just, again, like humans, as you get older, your social circle kind of become a little bit smaller, but you have a few good friends, okay? So that's the same with dogs as well. So it's perfectly okay. Don't worry if suddenly your previously very social butterfly puppy just prefer to play with a smaller group, okay? That's normal. And then you hit the senior stage at 7 years old, plus minus. The larger breeds, they are considered senior sooner than the smaller breeds. The smaller breeds, they're considered senior a little bit later, okay? And at this stage, about 7 years old, be more aware of age-related issues. So oftentimes aches and pains will creep up on them, arthritis, cataracts. So keep an eye on this. If suddenly you notice a behavior change in your dog at about this age, have it checked out. Because sometimes these kind of age-related issues can can creep up quite suddenly. So the earlier you address it, the better it is. Okay. Yeah. And at 7 years old, because I've had owners who come to me as well, the pet guardians come to me and say, oh, I want to socialize my 7-year-old dog. I want him to have more friends. Then I'll say, it's okay. I think your puppy just prefers to just hang out at home or just have 1 or 2 friends. Okay. So at that age, there's some things I would do, and some things I would just let the dog be, because, I think they deserve it after it being a senior dog. Okay. Now, these are the top 3 challenges that we get very frequently for our owners. Potty training, chewing, nipping, mouthing, walking on a loose leash. Now, potty training is usually one of the hardest, but it's actually very simple. Okay, simple but tedious. Right, let's see now the next stage. Okay, potty training. Can I have a quick show of hands? How many of you have potty training issues? Yeah, potty training issues. Wow, quite a lot. 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 4. Yeah. Yeah, potty training issues. Now, if you have potty training issues, a lot of it has to do with the routine. Now, oh wow, some more. Okay, more coming. Yes, more potty training issues. Okay. All right. So I'll quickly outline the things that you need to watch out for when potty training a puppy, and why I say it's simple, but it's also difficult. If you have an issue with potty training, I normally tell the pet guardians to, devote, like, say 2 weeks, okay? Just 2 weeks, stick very rigidly to a schedule, watch the puppy. And if you work very hard for the 2 weeks, you probably get somewhere, okay? Now, what you need to understand about potty training is the puppies develop what we call a substrate preference. Now, a substrate preference just means the material that they feel under their paws when they pee. So you want them to feel under their paws. You have to decide, why is it that you want the puppy to pee on? Is it on grass, or is it on a pee tray? Okay. And if it's on a pee tray, or is it on a pee pad? So, some of the pee tray have the grills on it. Okay. So if you change the grill as well, and then or if you just bring the puppy to a pee pad, they will not be able to tell the difference, because all along when they pee, they feel the grill on the paws, under the paws, right? So decide what material you want the puppy to pee on. Okay, so, and then a large part of it is you managing it so that every time he pees or poos, it is on that material. Now, personally, I prefer grass, just outdoor training, because it's a lot easier for the dog to understand, and it's very different from the home environment as well. And so the puppy will know, okay, when it's indoors, I will not pee. When it's outside, and then I'll pee. And it's a lot faster to potty train them to go on grass. Yes, when it's raining, you have to bring the dog out, but something called an umbrella, okay? And you save a lot of money too, I believe, because you don't have to change the pee pad and pee tray. But I understand the convenience of it. There have been times when my senior dog, I had to bring him down to pee, because he was never pee pad trained or pee tray trained. So I have to carry him down 4 times a day for him to pee and bring him back up. But if I could do over, would I do it over again? No, I'll probably still stick on grass. Okay. it's a lot faster. It's less confusing for the dog. Now, how do you ensure that the puppy goes on the material that you want him to? Management and confinement. Okay, so a common thing that we get a lot is that, oh, but then it's so cruel, you know, I want the dog to have freedom in their house. Yes, because I want the dog to have freedom in the house for the rest of its life, which is why I'm going to be very strict with management the first year, all right? I'm going to have a strict management routine set up in the first year so that for the rest of his life, it's 10 years plus, he can have full run of the house, he is reliable. Rather than him having free run of the house now, and then for the next 10 years, he is going to be confined because he is not reliable, doesn't have a reliable potty training. Okay. Now, what does management mean? It just means every time the puppy is out, you are watching him. If you're physically present and mentally absent, meaning when you're on your phone, the puppy should be in its playpen or it's in its safe, confined place. Its room, okay? So it can be a playpen or it can be a small room with a baby gate, okay? That is also possible. Now, I will show you some of the setups in the next few slides, okay? So, and then you'll see what I mean. And then we need to have a strict routine. When I say routine, I don't mean like, okay, 8 o'clock, eat, 8:30, go for a walk, 9 o'clock, eat, okay? I don't go by time, but I have a pattern that the puppy recognizes, okay? Okay, after we eat, we're going to go for a walk within 2 hours because I know that's what he's going to do, all right? But the time is flexible. Now, why do I not want to keep a very strict to the time? I don't want to keep it strictly to the time because I want to build in some flexibility for the future so that puppy knows, okay, dinner time is between 6 to 8, all right? And not exactly at 6, because if you always do it exactly at 6, when 6 o'clock comes, you have to feed the dog, or they will start whining, or sometimes they discovered they develop what we gastric, like they vomit up the gastric juices. So I want it to be a bit flexible in the time as well. Otherwise, your life schedule will revolve around the puppy's mealtime. Okay, so what I'm saying is have a strict routine for the first 2 weeks, okay, but try to keep it flexible. So just have patterns that the puppy can recognize, okay? So management is very important. The dog is not going to be in the playpen 24/7, but he's going to be, okay, morning breakfast, then he's going to go out for a walk, come back, rest 2 hours, and then we're going to go out for a pee walk again, and then come back in, okay? And when he's out from the playpen, he can only come out after he has peed. All right, so it's no free reign of the house at all. Okay, free play for 5-10 minutes and then go back. If you want him to be trained, after half an hour, bring him back to the playpen after he's peed. Okay, puppy, you can come out again. So there's a lot of movement in and out. And so the puppy learns, okay, after I pee, I can come out. All right. And puppies need to go quite frequently, depending on the age. So whether they are the younger they are, the less control of the bladder they have. So usually a rule of thumb is I go by the months, how old they are +1. So a 3-month-old puppy can reasonably hold their bladder for 3 hours maximum, or 4 hours maximum. But puppies, after they run around a little bit, they need to pee. After eating, they need to pee. After waking up, they need to pee. So roughly, it's about every 2 hours, they need to pee. Okay. Now, when they have a mistake, all right, use a cleaner with enzymes to clean the pee and poo up. Don't use Dettol. Floor detergent doesn't work because the urine smell is quite potent. So even though you can't smell it, the puppy can still smell it. So you need one that is specially formulated to remove the urine. Okay, it's well worth it. And some will ask about vinegar. I'll say, you know, just invest in a good urine remover to save yourself some trouble. You also need to keep a diary of when the puppies pee, poop, meal times, play times. Okay, so those who have had babies, okay, who are parents, you remember when your baby was a newborn and you had to write down, okay, 1 o'clock he ate, and then the next time when he pee and poo. You do that so that you're able to keep a diary, recognize a pattern of when the puppy needs to pee and poop, all right? And then you can gradually increase the length of time before taking him out for the next pee and poop. Okay, and punishment, as you see in the picture, this one is quite common. See owners, they say, oh, puppy has made a mistake, all right? We've got to scold the puppy so the puppy knows that he knows where, so that he knows where he's gone wrong, okay? Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work like that. If there's a mistake, if there's a potty training mistake, it's usually because we are not watching out for the puppy, all right? Well, we have to be the adults in the relationship, right? So we have to make sure the puppy is always in the right place when he pee and poo, okay? Now, in this particular picture, when you are scolding the puppy and you say, oh, but he looks like he understands, he's guilty for making a pee, all right? They don't understand why you are upset with them, okay? And they don't make the connection that you're upset because they pee on the floor. Actually, no, they do, sorry. Okay, they don't understand why you're upset, all right? But they just know that when there's pee on the floor and there's poop on the floor, the human gets really upset, all right? In some cases, some dogs will resort to eating the poop to kind of get rid of the evidence, or worse, some dogs will not pee and poop in front of humans ever again. And then you've just made your toilet training journey a lot harder because they will run and hide or they'll pee and poo when you're not watching. So I would rather a puppy make a mistake and pee in front of me than I scold the puppy and the puppy runs and hides and never pee in front of me, because then it's almost impossible to potty train. Not impossible, it's just really, really very difficult to potty train a pup who is afraid of peeing in front of you. What I like to do is I do the opposite instead. When I catch a puppy peeing in the right place, I reward it with a treat, okay, or even just with the kibble, part of the dog's meal. Okay, you don't have to use fancy treats, but just whatever the dog is eating, he gets a treat. Or if he's in a playpen, he peed in a pee tray, great puppy, you open the door and you let him out. And they will make the connection, oh, when I pee, first I get a snack, and 2, I get to run out and play, okay? It's very rewarding for them, and they will repeat that. What happens if the puppy makes a mistake? Nothing. I try, I take a deep breath and say, I didn't see it, okay? Because even there's some puppies who are very in tune with the body language of the humans. So even you just going, okay, or you just go, no, all right? And they will shut down. And the next time they will not pee in front of you. And it's really, really very hard to get the trust back. Okay. Now, this is some of the setup. Okay. And you'll notice that there's not much space for puppy. Okay. So some of the playpens I see is huge. The puppy is really small. And then the pee tray is only like 10% of the whole area. And that is quite difficult for the puppy to understand that is where you want to pee, okay? What we want to do, I want to optimize it, okay? I want to increase the chances of the puppy getting it right. So if you see the puppy on the bottom corner, the black puppy, is just basically a pee tray, a pee pad, all right? And it covers up pretty much like 70% of the area, all right? Which means this puppy has got a 70-80% chance of getting it right, correct? Because the other side is where the water bowl is and the food bowl is, they are unlikely to pee in that area, okay? So I made it no, I didn't make this. This is actually a stock picture, but this picture, all right, this dog has got 70% chance of getting it right. Okay, as opposed if it was just a small area, or if you double the playpen but just one piece of pee pad, the poor puppy has got a very difficult choice to make, and he's more likely to make a mistake. Okay, so some people just opt to have a pee pad like this, and if the puppy doesn't chew it up, fine. okay? But if it does, there are different things you can do. You can get a pee tray, okay? So the other pictures, you'll see the pee tray. Now, the top one, the one where the puppy is sleeping on the blue, can you see this? Yeah, where it's sleeping on the blue pee tray, okay? I've just made it easier for the puppy to go for the pee tray as well. The owners, okay, didn't want to get, we could either have gotten 2 pee trays or just a crate and a pee tray. Now they've opted for the crate so that the puppy learns to go inside and can have his meal inside. So we are crate training at the same time. Also, some puppies prefer to have a hidey hole to hide in. Okay, this is their room and their safe and special place. Obviously, this puppy doesn't feel that he needs the space right now. He's sleeping on a pee tray. It's okay, perfectly normal. Okay. And it's probably cooler as well because it's in the daytime. Now, the other puppy, well, the little Frenchie sleeping on the white pea tray. Okay, we had that same issue. So they didn't get the blue pea tray at first. So it was just this white one, and the puppy was peeing outside of the pea tray all over the place. I said, okay, you either get a crate or get another pea tray. And so we got 2 pea trays, and it worked out brilliantly. Over time, you will find the puppy will choose a pee tray or a particular corner to always pee in, especially if always feed in the same, put the food bowl in the same place, okay? They will always go back to that same pee tray to pee. And eventually, the little Frenchie, we just went down to 1 pee tray and we removed the big one, okay? But in the initial period, you need to set your dog up for success. Okay, I'm just going to go a bit faster or we're not going to finish. Okay, all right. Now, if you have an adult dog, okay, the setup is the same. Okay, if you have an adult dog with potty training issues, the setup is the same. And it'll probably be a little bit, yes. I would also do taking them out to potty more often. It's a lot clearer and easier for them to understand and to try to do them on a pee tray. Okay. Now, chewing, nipping, and mouthing. Okay, this one is probably another big one for most people. Now, they all involves the dog's mouth and it all involves the dog biting something. Okay, but there is a difference. Okay, there is a difference. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. I've got a question. Why a puppy like to sleep on a pee tray instead of the bed on the floor? Oh, good question. Because it's a lot cooler, okay? And they don't know that a pee tray is to pee on, okay? But with time, so I try not to clean the pee tray too much. Yes, I will change the pee pad, but I won't clean it every time they pee because I want the smell to bring them back to the pee tray to pee. All right. And if they're very unreliable, I don't want to give them any soft furnishings at all. They need to earn it. Because if you put, so if you notice, we use a crate, okay, and it's a bed and because of the crate, the puppy didn't pee on the soft furnishings. So you have to try. Some dogs, they're pretty fast and they'll just go in a crate and, pee on a pee tray and they don't pee on the bed, the soft furnishings, then that's fine. But if you find that they're always peeing on the soft furnishings on the bed, I would remove all beddings until they're more reliable, because otherwise they're going to think that, oh, the soft furnishings is where you want them to potty. Okay, and this is also the same reason why when puppy has full run of the house, you'll find that they'll often go pee on what? Floor mats, the floor cloth, on your clothes, on the beds, okay? Because it's soft and absorbent, all right? So we want to minimize that. If you have puppy at home, roll up your carpets, remove all your mats, because I don't want them to think that it's the toilet. Okay. Now back to chewing, nipping, and mouthing. Okay, chewing is when you take and chew on inappropriate objects. Okay, nipping is when they bite you. Okay, when they nip you with their very sharp, land sharp teeth. Okay, mouthing is big mouthy play. Okay, and they just trying to like put their whole hand in your mouth. Put your hand in their mouth. All right. Now, and they all have kind of a different reason behind it. For chewing, obviously, because they're puppies, they're teething, their gums are really sore, and they're exploring the world as well. Inappropriate objects. Now, this is where confinement and management comes in again. Puppies cannot tell the difference between what is your toys and what is their toys, or what is a toy, okay? To them, shoes are toys, are great toys. It's stinky, and not only that, when he grabbed a shoe, what happens? The whole family gets up and go, no, and they run after him. So it's very exciting, right? But when a puppy picks up his own toy, what happens? Nothing happens. So if you are a puppy who are a playful puppy, which one would you get, right? I would say, I would probably go for the shoes because that's when I get more exciting things happen, okay? So first off, if you have a puppy who is chewing things they're not supposed to, put things out of reach, okay? And also have easy access to things that you want the puppy to chew on, as many as possible, okay? I want the whole floor littered with their toys so that no matter what, there's always something within easy reach, okay? And when they do play the toy, when they're sitting there chewing the toy, I will make a big fuss too. I'll take another toy and we'll play with the puppy, okay? That's what, then you increase the value of the toys to the puppies. We can't just chuck the toy to the puppy and assume, okay, this is a toy. No, we have to kind of encourage them a bit for some dogs. Okay, nipping, small sharp bites on human body parts. A lot of times when this happens, a lot of it is frustration. Okay, when they want to play, they can't play, or they're being restrained. And also sometimes when they get very tired. Puppies and young dogs need a lot of rest. So you do need to schedule downtime for them. They're just like kids, right? Toddlers, they don't have enough sleep, they get cranky, and they start acting out and they start chewing and biting and barking. Okay, oftentimes when you get that, if you pop them back in their safe confined area, you will find that they'll just rest and sleep. The puppy's playpen or the dog bed is only for the puppy. No humans, big or small, is allowed in the playpen. Okay, that is the dog's safe place where they can sleep undisturbed. All right. Now, mouthing, big mouthy play, common retriever type puppies, these kind of dogs, right? When you're playing with them, make sure you have big toys. The bigger, the better. Actually, for all dogs, the bigger the toys, the better it is. It's more fun. Okay. And if you see, it's not this particular one, but IKEA has a big golden dog. It's quite a huge one. That toy is fantastic because dogs can play with it, they can chew on it, can jump on it. If you have a young puppy as well, they can also lie on it, just like this little dog here. Okay, yeah, all right. So overtired cranky puppies, they need to have downtime, management and confinement, and also a yes zone. A yes zone is, I borrowed this phrase from, again, from Montessori style of bringing up kids. A yes zone is basically a safe place where the child, or in this case, the dog, can do whatever he wants, okay, and it's allowed. He wants to chew his pea tray, fine, it's his pea tray, he can redecorate it. He wants to chew his bed, fine, he can do whatever he wants, okay, it's his place, all right? The reason this place is very important is because I want you to minimize saying no or scolding the puppy. Puppies at this age, okay, young dogs, we need to teach them first, and we cannot assume that they understand what it is. Don't forget, they see the world very differently from us, okay? They can't tell the difference between a slipper, okay, or a toy shaped like a slipper. They both look the same, okay? Now, routine, same thing, so they know what to expect or what is coming next. Okay, we'll make sure, so that they know after they have a good play, it's time to wind down, and they learn to do nothing as well. And you see punishment is also crossed out, because if you punish a puppy for chewing, you get them even more amped up, all right? And what you'll find is the chewing gets even more over the top, okay? And if you punish them, say with your hands or with a slipper of your point, some dogs, they become afraid of the hands. They become what we call hand shy. So when you try to reach for them or when you try to take something from them, they will run away, okay? We do not want that because that, again, makes training very difficult down the line, okay? Make sure your puppies are well rested. So these are little young puppies. They've had a good run and play, so it's time for a nap. Okay, I'm going to go a bit faster. This is the last one. Walking on loose leash. How many of you, for this picture, is quite familiar, where you're trying to walk and a dog is walking in this way and you're hanging on for dear life, right? Okay. The walking on loose leash is is a skill actually for the owners to learn as well, not just the dogs. We always assume that, hey, we got to teach the dog something. Ask any dog trainer, actually what we're teaching is the humans, all right? The leash should be at least 1.8 meters long. Too short a leash creates tension on the leash, which makes pulling even more likely to happen. Why is that? Let's say if I'm 1.6 tall, okay, I'm 1.6, now you know how tall I am. Okay, 1.6 centimeters tall. If my leash is 1.5, and if I have a little dog, by the time the leash is in, he has no space to explore, okay? And the leash is already tight to begin with, okay? Dogs also have 4 legs and they don't walk in a straight line. Completely different from what we want them to do, all right? We walk in for humans, we have 2 legs, we walk relatively straight line and we expect them to do. But puppies do not walk like this, okay? They are like toddlers, all right? They cannot walk in a straight line. It's either run or zigzag all over the place. And when we are forcing them to walk by the side in a heel position, it's very unpleasant for everybody, okay? They cannot explore, they cannot smell the world, they cannot sniff. And not only that, we are walking so slowly and we are so boring. Of course, they try to pull because human, you are walking too slow, okay? It's not a fun walk, all right? Whereas with a 1.8 meter leash, they have a little bit more room, a little bit more agency to sniff, okay? And sniffing is stress relieving. And believe it or not, sniffing, allowing them to sniff, tires them out faster than if you just say, okay, I'm going to walk from point A to point B and go back home, okay? But if you allow them to sniff, it takes like 10 minutes to sniff a bush. Fine, puppy, sniff all you want. You'll find they come back more relaxed, basically more relaxed, okay? They have a more enjoyable walk. Same for you and for the dog as well. Don't use retractable leashes because those cause a lot of rope burns and you have less control over the puppy, okay? I don't trust the motors in them because sometimes when you want to get them back and then you're doing this, like you're fishing, okay, and the dog is still pulling, all right? So don't use retractable leashes. There are times where you can use it, but only after the puppy has learned to walk on a loose leash, all right? Heel by the side, you see those obedience competitions where a dog is walking and they're walking by the side, and it's like, wow, they're so obedient. Yes, it is. And it is a training exercise, but it should not be your regular walks. Okay, no dog, no competitive dog will walk like this the whole walk. Okay. Yes, I might ask them to walk by heel for short periods of time when I say, oh, there's people coming. Okay, puppy, walk by my side. And then, but once we have space, they can go and explore. Okay, they can walk in front of me, can walk behind me. It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter which side they're on, okay? And one of the first things to teach when you want to walk on a loose leash is actually teaching them to walk off leash, okay? Practice follow me at home or in a safe and closed space. And I have this here. Okay, let's see. Now I shall talk. If you see, you'll be able to understand a bit more. Okay. Follow me is an exercise done off leash in a safe and closed space. Okay, wait for the pup to come to you. Now this puppy, he's very young. He's about 3 months old, 3 or 4 months old, very, very small. And the venue is a clinic where we do our puppy classes. Okay, and this is the helper. Yeah.
Then now we can try to.
Okay, now I want you to notice two things. One, the owner, the handler, is not saying anything to the dog at all. Okay, we are waiting for the puppy to catch up. And then when the puppy catches up, oh, great, you get a treat. Okay, and you can see how happy the puppy is. He's following, he's coming along. Puppies at this age, they are primed to follow you anyway. Okay, so we train them off leash so that they know the area around us. Hey, puppy, this is a good spot. Okay, this is where you get the goodies. Okay, and once you've done this a couple of times, once you're comfortable with it, okay, you follow on with adding the leash. You let it drag on the floor, you change directions to make it interesting. Now, remember when I said we walk in a straight line and very boring, okay? So we try to make it a bit interesting for them. So we're adding a few things. So this is puppy class again and the vet clinic. Okay. All right. Sorry. So that's Cheryl, my instructor for the puppy class. I'll play it one more time. Okay. Okay, I'll play it one more time and then you see. She's walking ahead. Follow. Okay. And once she reaches, that's a treat. And we're just letting the leash drag. Why? So that the puppy gets used to feeling something around its neck. Okay, there's no tension. When we are doing loose leash walking, the leash is really literally there just as a safety device. I'm not using it as a steering device. I'm not pulling the dog. I'm training the dog to want to come with me rather than make the dog come with me. Okay. And then we put it all together. This is the owner. So the next step is we hold the leash. Okay. Now, if you watch this. Okay. Watch how she's holding the leash. Very loose. Okay. And the puppy is following. Then the puppy around the area that you want. She gets a treat. Okay. Okay. Shall we do that one more time? So that you get to see what this looks like. Okay, all right. Now, you probably wondered, wow, we use a lot of food. Yes, okay, we use a lot of food, but puppies at this age need to eat a lot. So we just use part of the meals, okay? So usually I'll weigh out, let's say the puppy's on kibble, say 50 grams for the whole day. I'll split into three or four, actually into four parts, okay? So 3 meals and 1 for training, okay? Or if you're especially hardworking, I will take the dinner or the breakfast and I'll take it out and do a training walk instead. So the puppy is working for every single kibble. All right. Meal times are actually fantastic time to do training. Okay. It engages the dog's brain, a little bit of physical activity, and you're getting the reps in. Okay. Training is so much about getting the repetition in. Okay, and getting it to fluency. Yes, I can teach a pup to sit very easily, but to get it very fluent, meaning the puppy can do it at home and outside, downstairs, in a crowded place, it takes sheer repetition, right? For puppies, for the first year or so, I prioritize building a good relationship over obedience because once the trust is broken, it is very, very hard to fix. All right. Teaching what they call basic obedience commands, okay, like sit down, stay, super easy. Trust me, very, very simple. If the pup trusts you, you have a good relationship with it, a lot of issues will just go away. Okay. Things will fall into place. I kind of teach it as a life skill. Okay. Right. Make sure the needs are met. Okay. Food, freedom from discomfort, pain, injury, freedom to express normal behavior, freedom from fear and distress. Okay, the first 3, no problems for most dog owners. Okay, 4 and 5, we need to do a bit better. We need to be able to give them the opportunity to play with other dogs, to dig, to chew things, to shred things up. Okay, the first year is all about that. Freedom from fear and distress. Okay, I don't want to scare them. Okay, I want them to always feel that it's okay to come to me, even though you've done something really naughty that makes me very upset, like chew on on the chair leg, when I call and you come to me, I'm going to reward you, all right? Because I want to protect the recall down the line, all right? Chair leg is okay, we can get new chairs, but the truss, not so easy to buy, all right? Now, let's see, we have about 5 minutes for Q&A. Let's see, any questions so far? I saw a couple of questions. I'm just checking to make sure I've got everything. Let's see, where am I? I've got
Yes,
one
Rick
question.
has a question. May I ask how to prevent my dogs from frequent licking when walking?
Licking. May I ask, what is the dog licking? Is it licking the floor, licking you, or Rick? What is the dog licking?
You can just unmute yourself.
Just licking the floor, yeah. So part of the reason why dogs lick the floor, right? There's a few things. First, I will get the puppy checked out, make sure it's got health. There are no problems with the health, all right? And also, sometimes they will lick the pee as well of other dogs as well, because remember, dogs experience the world through their noses. They smell the smells to them is a lot more important than it is to us. And they have this gland in their nose, in their muzzle. Okay, so when they lick, right, they're trying to get more of the scent in so that they can see the world better. All right, but of course, we can't let them lick all over the place for now, especially now if you've seen cases of lepto is on the rise. So if you see any still stagnant water, please don't let the puppy lick, okay? Because it's quite dangerous. There's an uptick in leptospirosis, which is a rat-borne disease. There's not much you can do. Just continue walking. It's puppy, let's go. Yeah, and also when you're walking your pup, have a look. Always scan ahead. When you're walking, I see people walking and checking their phones as well. Scan ahead. Is there chicken bones on the floor? Oh, is there another puppy coming? Or is there something I don't want the dog to get to? Look ahead. Look 5 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead, all right? So that you are able to avoid, prevent him from taking things that he doesn't want to. And also make yourself more interesting than what's on the floor, okay? All right. Oh, it's a couple of questions. I have a senior dog. Can we still potty train him? Oh, yes and no. It depends on how senior. First, vet check. Senior dogs, they tend to have, sometimes they have incontinence as well. They have infection as well. So you really need to check. For very, very senior dogs, sometimes you might have to do diapers. Okay, if all else clear, you might have to put them on diapers. They're very old geriatric dogs. If not, senior dogs or any adopted dogs, I go back to the basics: confinement and management and a strict routine. So when I adopted Truffles, my last dog, he just passed away. He was very old. He was already a senior dog. So, but I wanted to potty train him. So I took him down to pee every 2 hours on the dog. Okay. And so he knew that he didn't have to hold it and that he could pee in the right place, and he never had an accident outside. So if you have just adopted a senior dog or an older dog, health check first and then stick to a strict schedule. And then you will gradually see that the dog probably will understand to pee, to go when you want him to. Okay. Oh, Mavis says, my fur kid is like a nibble on a toenail and fur. Oh, this one is probably a medical issue. You need to get it checked out. Probably it's itchy or something. You need to get a vet to check on that one.
I think we have 2 about they have a lot of saliva and how to help with that.
Oh, it's a lot of saliva. Okay, this one is salivating, right? This has it's actually not, you can't train a dog not to salivate, all right? But it actually tells me a big one indication is this dog is a little bit stressed and a little bit of anxiety. So all the more you cannot use any fear or intimidation with this dog. I'm not quite sure in what situation he's salivating. Some dogs salivate in the car, there's motion sickness. But if it's just when you bring him to a different place, let's say at home he's fine, but if you bring him to a different place and he starts salivating, right, I won't train him because he literally cannot hear you. He is so frightened of everything else. He is so wary of his surroundings, which is why you see this salivating. Sometimes you'll see dogs who will just also cannot sit still, or they will be pacing a lot. Okay, that tells me that this dog is not comfortable in the environment. So the training is not, I will not train the dog to do sit down stays and things like that, but the training will be geared at letting the puppy know, hey, it's okay, you're safe, okay, there's nothing going on, and it's fine. All right, so a lot of it will be building trust with this dog and letting the dog not be so anxious outside. It takes a lot of time and patience, and you can only go as fast as this dog. In some cases, behavior mats as well could help, but you'll have to work with a vet for that.
Okay,
Oh.
all right. In the interest of time, I would
Yeah.
like to thank Angie for sharing and for sharing her expertise and for this very informative session and talk. All right. So although there are some questions that probably she don't have enough time to answer, I would like to encourage you to consider attending this one-day short course for pet owners. Angie is teaching basic behavioral management in dogs, fear and anxiety. All right. So if you feel that your dog probably will benefit from this particular course, do consider signing up. Okay. So these are what some of the topics covered by this particular short course. Understanding the importance of communication between owners and the dog. Understand the signs of stress in the dog. What is the effect of stress and how the dogs cope with the stress, and learn some of the methods to manage resource guarding, separating anxiety and other common behavioral disorders. Okay, the next one is on 23rd of March. All right, but I'd like to highlight to you that if you are above 50 years old, all right, and we wish to tap on National Silver Academy subsidy, which will subsidize 50% of the course fee. In this case, do apply for this course after April onwards, from April onwards lah. Maybe it's in May, June. If you are another run, you register your interest with us, and then we will inform you, all right, when to register for the next run. The course fee is payable with SkillsFuture credit. Okay, so thank you very much to Angie